Everyone, welcome back to the design studio on a Friday night where I'm going to be teaching you how to make the second type of rag wreath. For me, how much fabric, what do you cut the lengths to, how do you do it? We're going to cover all of that, but before we do, let me give you a couple things that are relevant to you. If you want to save a copy of this tutorial and you're on Facebook, just click the share button down below. It will save this video to your Facebook page. If you are on YouTube and you're signed into your YouTube account, all you have to do is click the save button. Then, how do you get notified when I go on live? Well, let's say, for example, you forget that I go Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific. And you need help calculating, or you kind of forget and you're like, man, isn't there just an easy way? Yes. So if you're like me, you keep your phone handy on you at all times. And if you're on Facebook, you're going to need to do two things. One, make sure that you have liked this page. And the second thing is follow this page. That's hidden. But right where you see the three little dots, if you click on those three little dots, it'll open up a sub menu. You can click on that and just make sure, verify that it says following this page is already selected. If so, you're good to go. If you're on YouTube, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel. I'd love to welcome you as a subscriber, and you'll get notified whenever we upload a new video. So I am going to pivot you down, and give me 1 second, and then we will cover all of your burning questions. So let me make sure we are live. I see that live in the group. Alrighty, let me go ahead and post website down below. Well, why are you doing that? Well, number one, if you're interested in purchasing any of the products that you see on my website first, and I offer lower prices on my website than I do on my Etsy shop, because Etsy just takes a lot of money out in fees. The next thing, it's kind of weird. I have like no comments. Can you guys just do me a favor and just say like hi? Let me know where you're from. If you guys are in the path of the hurricane, you are in my prayers. This one's hitting a lot of people pretty hard. I mean, I follow like backyard chicken sites, and I'm looking at these people's chicken coops and their chicken runs just like overturned, devastated. It's just crazy. So what else? Omega says hi from Florida, and Emily says hi from West Virginia. Ladies, prayers that you guys are not having to deal with much in the way of the hurricane.
Is that Hurricane Helene?
Yeah, I think it's Hurricane Helene.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right, let me cover a couple things. So, like I said, website is pinned down below, catscreationsandmore.com. That is also how you can get a hold of me if you have a burning question. Hi, Jan, welcome. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Debbie says, yay, made it. Hi from Ohio, prayers for all. Thanks for your prayers to Deborah for those that are impacted by the hurricane. So I'm doing it on the Dollar Tree wreath frame, which is a 14-inch wreath frame. You can do this on any size. Matter of fact, I was looking around my shop to see if I had any 8-inch rounds, because I want to put a couple of these up on my cabinets. I want to make cabinet wreaths, and if I can find them this weekend, I will schedule that for a live next weekend to show you how to make cabinet wreaths for whatever holidays you have and how to set those up. Okay. Hi, Jason from Massachusetts. Hi, Valerie. Welcome. Okay.
Omega said they lost their power for a few hours, but they're all good.
Yeah. So glad you guys got your power back on. Okay. So, braided fabric wreath. So we did I think it was like the week before, we did the full muslin. It was a white muslin wreath. It required 6 yards of fabric. This one is going to require much, much less. So as far as like specifically how much. I want to say if you have, it's not going to require a yard of fabric. I want to say it's going to require somewhere between like a quarter to a half a yard of fabric. I use 6 different colors on mine. And so let me tell you. So you will need, on the Dollar Tree wreath frame, you have 6 sections. You will fit 33 pieces in each section, filling them all the way. So 33, 33, 33, 33, 33, 33, 198 pieces, and those pieces are going to be cut 1.5 inches at the width by 9 inches long. These ones are going a little bit longer because this is the braided fabric wreath. So let me show you first of all how we're going to cut our strips, even though you guys probably already know how to do it, but for those who would rather do rotary cutter, so it's so much easy. Although this would have worked for those electric scissors, right? That you were doing?
Yeah.
So I had Steve working with me yesterday, and I was like, man, rotary scissors would have just made that so easy to do. So
Jason said I've been following for 2 years, but he's just catching a live now.
Aw, thanks for following me.
Hi, Arvina.
Hi, Arvina. Welcome. Okay.
On.
So I'm going to, first of all, on this one, I'm going to cut off the salvage edge. So let's just flip this over just so I don't have to deal with that when we're doing our strips. You're going to use a rotary cutter. I use this Agmocto, and I just ordered another one because this one finally is just about dead. It lasted me 10 months. So that's pretty good for a rotary cutter.
Just
Better.
The replacement plate or the whole thing?
No, the whole thing. So, I will post the Amazon affiliate link for this in the description box in YouTube, and when this goes to replay on my Facebook page, you guys will have the affiliate link for this should you wish to purchase it. So I'm just going to take and cut that salvage edge off, and then all you would basically do is measure out. These are not even going to do it because these are way short, way shy. Let's see if we can get one that actually does 9-inch. That just barely has anything left on it. Let me do these ones since this is a little bit more. So I have it folded up on itself 4 times. We're going to do 1.5 inch fabric strips. So we're measuring out 1.5 inches. Oop. Helps if I get it rolling first. There's 1 strip. We'll do another one. And then you would just keep doing this for all of your fabric. Like I said, I used 7 different prints. So I used this fall leaf. We used the pumpkin spice pattern. We did the, let's see if you can see it here. We did the pumpkins. I did this fall leaf pattern. I'm trying to find them all. And then we did this oak leaf pattern. And then, believe it or not, I don't have it here, but we had a plaid, a blue and orange fall plaid. And so those were all the colors that I used on my wreath. Then what we're going to do is simply take these and cut them into 9-inch strips. Where'd the other one go? It tried to run.
Asked, do you find that those rotary cutters are much more helpful than standard fabric scissors?
Yes.
They cut faster.
I'm all about speed. I don't have time to sit there and just like do it, you know, cutting them by scissors, because the fabric moves on the scissors. I tried doing that when I was struggling with the blade, trying to just do it cutting, and because I'm cutting 4 layers at a time, it was moving the lower level, so they weren't even getting a true cut on that. So I'm cutting that at 18, and then again at 9. And I'm going to cut my salvage edge off this one.
Ravina said, I bought that cutter and I like it, but for some reason I'm having the worst time on fabric.
Really?
Tearing it instead, unfortunately.
Wow. Because you've watched me do it. I noticed that sometimes it will tear if I don't give it a running start. So if I'm just starting it right on my fabric and going up, it'll catch and pull my fabric, rather than if I start off on the cutting mat but off the fabric and then run it up, then I can get the straight cut. Okay, so we have our fabric squares, 1.5 by 9 inches. We're going to grab our frame. I'm going to show you how simple this is. Again, another binge watching activity. So wherever you want to start, if you want to start on the inside, if you want to start in the middle, or you want to start on the outside, it's entirely up to you. You're going to fold your fabric strip in half, okay? Because we have this wrong side fabric, we really don't want to see this when we're looking at the end result. So folding it helps. And then you're just going to simply, you're going to be tying knots on the first 2 rings, and those are the ones closest to the outside. So super simple. These are going to be true knots. So not just the one and done. We're going to be doing them just like this. Okay. So that's the first one. The second one, let's get a different color fabric here. Okay. Folding it over. And this time you're going to go in between the 2 middles. So rail 2 and rail 3. You're going to tie your knot, oops, on 2 and 3. Just like that. Okay. And then the last one, you're going to obviously tie on rail 3 and rail 4. Let's see. I knew I cut another one out. I cut a whole bunch of them. Maybe all I did was cut these. Let's go ahead and do the brown one. Now hang on to those ones. So we're going to just use the brown one again. And we're going to go in between. Now we're picking up rail 3 and rail 4. Again, full knot. Just like that. And then you're going to slide them together. So you're just going to move this one in, and then you're going to move this one in. And you're going to probably tell yourself, well, I can't really get them all in, and that's the whole point. They're going to kind of stack up behind each other, and what you're going to get is 11 sets of 3, which give you the 33 that'll fit in each section. So again, you would just start again and go back to the beginning. You can alter your fabric. You can, vary the patterns and colors. I think that looks better, especially if you're dealing with even numbers that aren't divisible by 3. In my case, having 6 different fabrics, it was always the same alternating 3. Like the first 3 would be here, the second 3 would be here, then the pattern starts over. And so what I did is I just kept alternating the patterns on the rail so that I could get a full mix of everything on the outside. And so here, again, we're doing 2 middle, tie, and then we're going to go again, just like that, slide it forward, and I have another one right here with our acorn pattern, and we're going to go back to the final 3. And you can get this going pretty good. It's the fold that is going to be key, because it gives you the look without having to see much of the white side. So as you can see from here, we're getting like the true colors, the right side of each fabric. Now when we flip it over, let me push these through, because sometimes they don't stay in. When you flip them over, they start to form a braided pattern. So you can see as they're stacking, they're kind of forming their own unique pattern. So on the back, it looks great. On the front, it's going to look great because you're going to have just the regular rag wreath look. But then on the inside, you have this gorgeous braided fabric pattern. So let me show you what it looks like on a bigger wreath that's more fully done. So this is what it looks like after I've done all 5. We're going to finish the last section together, but this is what it looks like with all of those different colors. Here's that fall plaid that I was telling you about. We have the pumpkin spice, the acorn, the regular pumpkins, regular pumpkin fall leaves, the orange fall leaves. So when I flip this over, you can see the detail in that braided pattern that goes all the way through the entire design. It just kind of creates its own unique look that looks way cool. Okay?
Deborah asked, does it matter which direction your fold is facing?
Nope.
No.
Not at all. You can make it. And I started thinking about that. I was like, am I doing them all the same, or am I doing them, you know, some are going one way or some are going the other? No, it doesn't matter, because I had some going fold this way and some fold this way. It was just a matter of, hey, that's what I had left. So we're going to finish this one up, and you're going to see how quick it goes.
Hi, Joan from UK.
You made it. You're way late nighting it. She said she was going to try to make it.
Yeah, it's like 1:15 in the morning, I think.
8 hours.
Yeah, so yeah, 1:15.
Mm-hmm. You made it. I'm so proud of you. See, Joan, you can do this because there's fabric available in the UK. Okay, so remember we're doing the outside 2, the middle 2. And now I'm going to do the last 2 right in here. Okay, and then we're sliding them over. And then I'm going to change the pattern here because I think my strips got readjusted. I'm going to take our acorn and go back to the bottom. And then go the opposite way. There's that one. I'm going to slide it forward. And then here's our pumpkin spice pattern. There's that. Slide it. And then up here, we're doing our fall leaves. And I'm just being pretty particular because, like I said, I want to keep that right side fabric on the outside if possible. Let's move this one. I keep getting that acorn pattern all over again. Here's our pumpkin. There's the first knot, second knot. Now we have the fall leaf, and that's going to go in between. There's that one. Slide it. And I'm going to do our acorn pattern. And slide it. And then we'll do fall leaf, which is down here at the bottom. It's just doing a slow change. At some point I actually just started to incorporate 5 in here because it caused the pattern itself to shift so that it wasn't always the same fabrics appearing on the same rails every single time. I wanted them to constantly mix. Slide, and then we have our pumpkin spice.
Good question, Jason. He said, if you were just doing this without instruction or talking to us, how long would it take you to make? one of these wreaths?
If I had all the materials cut, or am I cutting the materials and then doing it? Because the longest part of your process is going to be the prep, cutting all your materials. But honestly, knowing that I'm only cutting 198 pieces and not close to 700, maybe about 2 hours tops. What I like to do is just, maybe cut enough for a couple sections, then tie them on, and then move on, so that it's like I'm giving myself a break from having to cut and from tying all the time. So I just cut some, tie them on. I think if I had all the materials cut and they were sitting here, not very long at all. And if I was not talking, maybe an hour, hour and a half.
I'd say probably 3 hours.
For everything?
For everything, yeah.
That would be good. So about an hour and a half if you had all your materials cut. And it just depends on how fast you are at tying your knots. Like Steve ties knots slower than I tie them. It's just gonna be up to you. And then as we're nearing the end of this section, because it's starting to meet the other, you're going to get interference from the other pieces. So like these are going to start to get in the way, but you can't really move them because they're part of the process. So you just kind of have to slow down a bit, make sure that you only are like, sometimes they get stuck in your knots and then you've got to pull them out. Okay, that one. I'm trying to go with my pieces. I had them all pre-done, but it looks like they're just kind of mixing themselves up. Okay, there's that one. We're back to our pumpkin spice fabric. Slide that over. I'm going to do our pumpkin fabric. And for the most part, I think I do my folds facing me. So towards the bottom, not towards the top, is how I'm kind of seeing that. See, I always fold them the same way. The folds are always facing towards me. And keep sliding. And sometimes it seems like I'm using the same fabric again, but it's not. It's just I'm putting it in a different place on the actual wreath. See, now this one I just folded up. It honestly doesn't matter. Just so long as you can tie it on there without tying all the other pieces in there. And then we'll do pumpkin pattern here. And then I'll show you what the back looks like and then give you some options for decorating. We're definitely making sure we put a bow on this one. See, this is what I'm saying. You've got your pieces beforehand that are in the way, and then you've got your pieces that you just put in. Let's see, can we clip these? I'm thinking maybe we can kind of chip clip them, keep them out of the way. Then we can keep going. We don't have much left. Slide. Okay, so Jason said start to finish, so 3 hours. Yes. Now, if you have to go buy the fabric and then come back and do it, that could be time consuming. but I had all these left over from the rag garland we did on Tuesday. So this was just the leftover fabric. So the rag garland we did required, I think it was like just under, was it just under 2 yards, Steve?
Yeah.
I think it was just under 2 yards to do the 20-foot rag garland. And so this was leftover pieces. Honestly, it was all leftover from that fabric I bought, where I just bought 2 yards of each. And this is from Joann's. And I think all their fabric right now is, I think I pulled it up yesterday, it's 50% off. So that is like a deal and a half, because each of these fabrics was somewhere between $7.99 and $9.99 when I bought them. So that's quite a huge savings for some of you. Okay. Oops. Sliding. And you're going to see it kind of fills up, and then it seems like there's almost room for it at the bottom, like where you can stick one more piece in. That's going to be an option, totally up to you. I opt not to do the last little piece. Like you can see how like wafer thin it's getting right now as we get up to the top, for me just to get that fabric in, butting those two sections up to each other. Okay, so now we're going back down. This will be our last 3 pieces. So here's the first. This one, our pumpkin piece. Just sometimes trying to get those in that middle section can be just tough. So I think the chip clip worked. And then the last one is going to go right in here. Okay. Squeezing it in. So this is what I'll show you. So that's all nice and tight in here. And this is where I'm saying you could almost get another piece in here. If you want to put it in, it's totally up to you. It doesn't really do much to the pattern. I don't think I have any more. I think I would have to recut more fabric to squeeze that in. So I had just enough cut. So now I'm just going to take, and then you're doing the same thing. You're going to fluff all your ribbon tails up, just like we did before. This one's a little less full, but it's still full enough. You can trim up your pieces if you want. You can use pinking shears if you want. It's totally up to you. I like it to be completely raw and rustic. And then again, flipping this over on the back, you have your pieces that make up your middle, but you have these out, like it's just gorgeous. All that little braided fabric all in there. It's just so pretty. And then the yield on this is going to be, fabric strip to fabric strip is 18 inches. This fits storm door perfectly, so you can definitely put this on a storm door. Really quick, I want to show you the one that we finished that I shared the pictures with. So we've done this one before, but I'll throw down just a quick refresher on this one. This one can be done one of 2 ways. This is what's called the Larkspur knot. So the knots look like little mini ties, like little mini bow ties, like a little tie you would tie around somebody's neck. But I'll show you on the other frame. And these ones take less fabric. surprisingly. So on here, you're only going to need 7 inches for these ones. I'll just use my fabric shears and cut that down to 7. Lucky I did both. So this is the ones my kids call loop and swoop. So you can do it one of 2 ways. You're still going to fold it in half because we don't want to see the ugly part of the fabric coming through. Now you are only going to do it on a single rail. So like this one has 4. The heart shape only has 3 on it. So I'm just going to pick one of the middle ones to show you because it's easier to get to. You're going to fold it into like a little U. You're going to place that on top of the rail. Then you're going to bring it down and grab it from the middle. Okay. Hold the ends together. And then that forms that little bow tie look. That is the Larkspur knot. Now it feels awkward to do that, but it looks nicer on the finished product. To do it much easier, if you want to fold it over and this time go under because it's easier, and then grab your fabric and pull, you have that reverse Larkspur knot, but you don't have the fabric covering it. You just have the open side of things. So the knot would be on the back side, not on the front side. Whichever way you want to do it, this way is easier, but this way looks nicer. So it's entirely up to you. On the heart shape with all of the fabric knots, if you flip it over, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing all of those fabric pieces all placed on. There's our center frame. Then we have a middle one. Some are cheating and popping in. Okay, so we have a middle rail, and then we have the outside rail. So you can have it look one of 2 different ways. I like it like this, where you can see the fullness of all the different fall colors, but some people like the look of the knot. So let me show you what we can do. We can pull all these forward. Hard to believe that a rag wreath can have more than one look, but it does. Okay, and we're going to grab the next set. I'm just going to go through and lift them up and flip them to the center because it's easier to start from the bottom. And we'll do the same. We're just running into the rails. There's that one. And let's grab the center. Okay, and then from here, it doesn't really vary much here. It varies on, I'm trying to think. Okay, this was the center. So let me flip this. And some people like it, so you would pull these back. Is that the same look? No, they got to go in here. They go under. They like seeing the knots and not the rags. So you can have it look like this instead. So we're just taking and flipping those back, flipping all the pieces back. Like these wouldn't be on top. They actually go under that rail. Get those back under. And then the ones on the top would just all come up, and then those are going to go under as well. So we're going to push them and have them come flat.
So it almost looks like it's layered.
Yeah. And some people, like I said, they like it because I've done it both ways and they're like, no, leave it that way. I like looking at the knots that way. It looks cool. So I was like, okay, everyone has their own design choice. So as you can see, this one focuses more on the knots and still has the same look as everything else. You just want to make sure all of your pieces are laying flat and then they're all pieced together. But some people, it reminds me of the little loom things, like when you would do looms weaving, That's the look of this one. So you can go either way.
Jen said you could change it up periodically.
Yeah. He's like, so it's like a 3-in-1. Well, technically it's like a 2-in-1. So I'm going to just pull these out. We're going to go ahead and make bows for both of these. This is part of that collection. So remember last week I told you guys I'm working on adding collections to my website and my Etsy shop so that you can shop a collection. Like if you just want all the fall fabric stuff, you will have everything in there, from the lighted fall garland, the lighted, the fabric trees, and then the rag wreaths that we've done a couple different ways. So now I'm just taking these and pulling these out so they lay on top. Whichever way you like it. You can get it either way. You can fluff it either direction. So I'm just grabbing and pulling the tails out and fluffing them over the other knots. That's all I'm doing. It just depends on your preference. And these are great because both of these are storm door compliant. So you can put them on your storm door. And if they get wet, God forbid, because there's like a hurricane and people forget to bring their home decor stuff in. If this was wet, you would just take a blow dryer to it and just blow dry all your fabric. And then just as it's drying, just dry all of your fabric pieces.
Probably even Scotch cover too, so it's like...
Yeah, you could. You know me, I'm not about any of the extra work, so I'm not into all the Scotch Guard stuff. But that's the Larkspur method. So this one is 1.5 inch by 7-inch fabric strips. Again, I did all 6. This is where I used up the leftover plaid. And then this was our braided rag wreath. This is the one that has the unique look on the back. This is what you get the look on that side for the back. But let's make a matching bows. So,
Shell Door Decor and more said, I'm so glad I caught you live. Love, love, love this.
You are so welcome. So these are the colors that I'm doing for our rag wreaths. I'm trying to keep it like the shades of orange, like a pumpkin orange. So Kringle Designs for the burnt orange with the raised white stitching. Craft Outlet for the pumpkin orange and white ticking. And then this one, I think, was Craft Outlet. So we're going to mix and match a couple bows. To kind of, I like this on the outside. So I think I'm going to start with this, move to the ticking, and then finish with the raised white stitching. We could do it that way too. Which way do you like?
Do the other one? Which is going to be on top? The shiny?
This one.
Yeah, like that.
You like it like that? All right. We'll mix it up. We'll do them 2 different ways. So we're going to start with the dovetail edge. So we're going to bring our wired edges together. We're going to cut from the fold to the wired point. And depending upon where you come up on your fold is going to determine how deep into that V it really gets. And so we need to figure out, okay, well, where are we going to put the bow? I kind of like mine up here because it's a heart frame. I like to still see the integrity of the heart rather than if we put the bow here, right, and we have this big bow, it's a little hard to determine, hey, that's a heart-shaped frame. So I like it kind of off to the side so that you can kind of trace the middle. So knowing that, I'm going to let my tails kind of fall right about this level here. So that is about 6 inches. So we're going to go 6 inches in. We're doing simple bows. We're not doing the overly complicated one. because they're very small wreaths. And we are going to do 4.5-inch tails for the glitter pattern. Or 4.5-inch loops, not tails, sorry. So that is not quite. So when I'm measuring, I'm lining up my bow dabra right on this 10-inch mark. And then I am taking and stretching my fabric out and looking, does my loop hit 4.5 inches, which in this case would be 5.5 on my mat. Once it does, then I'm just going to measure out my tail. I think we said 6 inches, right? Yes. So then we're going to cut that, dovetail the end. There's that one. Now we're going to do the ticking, dovetail the end. We'll do it here so you can see a little better. We're going to do this one at 5.5 inches. We're going to bring it in just a little bit, and these are going to be 4-inch loops. So I'm always going to bring it back. I'm always going to line it up and measure. That one's going to be way too big if I left it like that. Okay, right there's 4. Back out, we're going 5.5. Okay, scissors. Here's that one. Then we're going to add our last one. This is going to be a 5-inch tail with a 3.5-inch loop. But dovetail first. So 5 inches. We're going to measure in. We're going to twist. Place it right inside the bow dabra. We're going to go up and over. Measure and make sure that that sits right at 3.5 inches. Do the same for this side. And I know you're looking at the bow going, wow, that's a really small bow. It seems like it is until I get it off. And then you're like, okay, is the right size. And there's 5. There's that one. Okay, now let's grab a pipe cleaner, and I'm going to, I was gonna grab brown, but I'm looking for the right brown. Maybe we'll do, no, we'll do brown. No, we'll do white. We shall do white. So I'm just picking this right out of my bow dabra. We're gonna fluff on the wreath, especially with a bow this small. So we're just going to twist a couple times. Okay. We're going to bring our wreath back. And because this is going to go up in the corner, all of my tails need to come down. So I'm just going to move my tails down. Just because it makes it easy before I attach it. We already know where the frame is, where every single one of those knots is. So that makes finding it super easy. I try to find one of the rails if I can. Doesn't seem like it's going to be the case, but I'm going to go with the middle row. So just make sure that you've got it over either side. We're going to twist, and now we're going to fluff. So we're just going to bring one high and one low, but we'll keep our pumpkin colors in the center. Same thing here. We can do it this way and keep it complementary all the way through. Just like that for a really super cute look. Let's just like that. Okay, so there is that simple bow for our fall wreath. Now let's make one for the braided fabric wreath. So what do you guys think about that one? Super simple. We're going to mix up the colors on the other one.
Terry's the first time I find the color right. Welcome, Terry.
Welcome, Terry. So I'm going to put, we did the ticking in the middle. Let's put the ticking on the outside.
Back.
No, like I was going to put the ticking up here in the front. Or we could put the, whatchamacallit, the glitter. I like the glitter in the back. Okay, we're going to do it for our braided fabric. So the same thing, we need to look at it and figure out, hey, where can we place that? So I'm going to set this one aside. And we're going to bring this one back out because it's a lot bigger and we have a lot more room. So let's make this one have a little bit more space. Let's go, I'm looking at 7 just to try to see where 7 is. Let's do 7. We'll do 7, 6.5, and 6. So this one's going to be 7 inches. We're going to fold it. We're still going to do our 4.5 inch tails or loops. So make sure they end at your 4.5 inches. Bring it back, measure. That one's not quite there. Okay, cat, you can't cheat. There we go. I'm trying to think. Let's do doubles on this one. Let's do double. So I'm going to do double the bows on this one.
No problem. Sit on there, join those colors off.
Yeah, we did. I showed you how to make rag wreaths. 2 different ways. We were really focused on the braided fabric, but I also taught you how to also do the larkspur knot. So that one is finished. We're gonna do this pumpkin on the inside, just so they're the same but slightly off. Like they all have their own unique personalities. So this one is going to be 6.5 inches. And we're going to do 4-inch loops, but we're doubling. So, whoop, that was way long. So there's 4. There's 4. And so now we're going to do it again. So this one, because we have a fuller wreath, we can do a fuller bow. Go back up and go down. Just a bow variety. I mean, there's honestly only so many different ways you can make a bow. They all become remnants of the same technique, whether you're doing double or triple loops or you're doing the same ribbon over and over and shortening up your tails every single time. The basic method is all relatively the same. And this one we're going to do at 6 inches. And we'll do a double with this one too. But this one's only going to be 3.5 inches. So I need to, number 1, make sure that I get a template for where those are going to wind up. So the bottom set becomes the template for the top set. And then once I have the bottom ones done, I just put my finger in the bottom set and in the top set and then pull on the top one. Because the bottom one's already done. It's already measured. Pull. And then we still need to go out our 6 inches. And we'll dovetail this one. Grab a white pipe cleaner. Flip. We're still gonna fold, or we're still gonna do the fluffing on the wreath. But we just bring it at the bottom, twist, and then just hold your pipe cleaner, and then just twist all of your ribbon. Okay, I'm gonna look now because I should be able to find, here's one of those crossbars. So I like to position it on a crossbar because it's right in the center. So I'm gonna go ahead and fasten that on. And then I'm gonna pull my tails down because I'm gonna put this one at the center top. Just like this. Pull all our tails down. And I'm going to start with the bottom two. And I'm just going to lift those up. Go to the other side. And lift those up. But I need to pull my tail down because it was still over here. So a nice little X. Then we're going to do the same thing here. Okay. Kind of one a little high, one a little low. And do it here too. And then we're going to do the same thing with our whites. Just grab those and fluff. And how you want that fluffed is going to be entirely up to you. But our tails, we're just going to draw them through our fingers and pull them down. And that'll kind of put that nice little arc back in them. And then just display everything you'd like to see all on your bow. So I have trying to represent all the colors there. So there is that one. Super simple. You can even hang a sign at the bottom. Not at the bottom, but let me just grab this one because I know that this sign was super cute and it was fall inspired.
Hi, Anna.
So you could take...
Some beautiful cat.
Thank you. So you could take a sign. You can add a sign right into the top like that. And then you can switch it out if you want. Like this one just says pumpkin spice is my favorite season. And then what you would do is you just anchor your, this was from Hobby Lobby, I think. I'm trying to think, 2021. Staple your pipe cleaners. Stretch them across so that they support that sign, or you can anchor it to the bottom if you want it a little bit more like brushing the edge of the bottom, and then you can pull all your rag wreath pieces up. It's entirely up to you. You have enough with your rag strips to cover your pipe cleaners that would hold and support that in the center. But that is one look that you have.
Probably at least a what, 8-inch sign or something?
Yeah, you could go up to an 8-inch sign. I think anything larger than that would be way too big because this is 18 from one end to the other. And I think this sign, this one's like it's right at 7 long here and here. And then it's 5 inches wide, 7 inches long. But yeah, that would definitely work for that. You could add embellishments to that. See if I can take her out of the box too and make sure that all of her pieces stay together. Put all of her attachments behind her. You could even add fun little attachments like this into your rag wreath as well, and then just secure her in. She's just a small little wreath attachment that you can add to your design, and then you would just have something super cute. Because she feels a little rustic, I think that definitely makes the point. And I think this was from Craft Outlet a couple years ago. So lots of different options. Yeah, Facebook kicked me out. What else is new? And it's telling me now I have to log into Facebook. Maybe they're working on the issue.
Maybe.
Okay, so let me show you guys what these look like on the door for size comparison. So let me make sure that goes up high enough. Let me take this one down. This, believe it or not, is going to be the wreath we're giving away in our rewards program for October. So if you have not considered joining, you might want to. You never know, $5 could get you this wreath all the way to your front door. So you can find that out on my website, catscreationsandmore.com. And we will just place that on the door. So there is the braided fabric rag wreath. That's the size of that on a full-size front door. So you can see 18 inches, still has a commanding presence. And then we will switch it with our other one. This is our heart-shaped one. I'm going to try to make sure I get it lined up right. Trying to make sure I get my strips to line up correctly. So, and that is our heart-shaped one on the door. I'm making sure all the pieces fit and they're all correct. So the heart one is on my website now. The braided one will go up here in a little bit. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And join me next week. We're doing all yarn crafts and projects. So I hope to show you guys some new things. All right, everyone. Have a blessed weekend. Talk to you soon.